Welcome again to the channel. This is Eric Ghanaba. Kwaku. Thank you for everyone who subscribed to the channel, to the Ghanaba Kwaku YouTube channel, and also the Bill Connect Solutions channel. Thank you for helping us grow. I wish the Bill Connect Solutions channel will grow faster, but it's a start. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do me a favor. Toggle all post notifications after you hit subscribe, so that when we bring new content, you'll be one of the first to be updated. Every once in a while, I go through my archives and I find reasons that make doing this China business worthwhile. And in doing so, one of these last times, yesterday, I chanced upon this invoice that you are looking at on your screen here. I had, I was in Ghana in 2022. It was actually after my mom passed. So after the funeral, I spent a week in Ghana after the funeral, and I had Superlock team, the lady from the Superlock team, come over and give us an estimate after they did measurements of all the windows we have on site. And when they gave me this, I almost collapsed. I was like, for good windows, this is how much it made. I'll be honest with you. Looking at this invoice, made KS50 seem reasonable, right? Not reasonable, for what I wanted, but a reasonable alternative. Because I was told, I could, if I had $12,000 in pocket, I could get good KS50 windows done. And this is double that, right? And I looked back at it yesterday in the evening, after I found this invoice again. I was looking at it and I'm like, look at the least expensive window that they have in this. If you look at the sales price column, mind you, these are all in USD. The least amount in that column, without trying to even figure out what a size is or what a unit is, the smallest amount in that field is $312, right? For a window, right? And up till now, like, I've been trying to figure out what their measurements were, and I'm honest with you, I can't really tell. The best I can tell from here is that the 0.7 is essentially the square meter, right? So if 0.7 is a square meter, that means that they are charging, let me do a little bit of math here. You know what, I'll do the math and put it on the screen. Bear with me. But you can tell that, okay, so 0.7 is the square meter. 0.7 is the unit price, right? So $312 for the windows that they were trying to, have us put in place. And mind you, these came with a standard mesh nets, right? Just a regular nylon mesh. And the the more I look at it, the more I'm glad, I ended up in China, because even with shipping and with systems that are way better than what you would get in Ghana for this amount, even with shipping included, a square meter is not going to cost you $300. I promise you that, right? And when I put this video up, if you've done Windows systems with us and you're willing to share your per square meter cost, that's fine, because all configurations are different. So it's difficult to, really, say, oh, this is how much it's going to cost you or not. But I can tell you this, even with the most expensive systems that we've done, which is casement windows, $312 for a square meter is way too much money, right? I do this not to, not to say that we are the only option, but I do this video to show you what I could have paid and to let you know that I didn't pay as much as this invoice is quoting, right? For my windows, 25,000 US dollars, right? It's ridiculously expensive for the windows that I have in my space, right? I didn't spend even $20,000 on my windows. And you know, I try, like, when it comes to prices, I tell everyone who comes to us, your measurement will determine what you end up paying. And your measurement, the style, the window configuration, the thickness of the glass you want, and all of that factor in. So it's difficult to give a flat out, per square meter price. But since this is for my windows, right? This estimate was from Superlock in Accra. For my windows, I can tell you flat out, I'm extremely happy with the windows that I got for less than this amount. And I'm glad I didn't just say yes. One, I couldn't afford it. And two, I'm glad I didn't just say yes. But even more so, I'm happy that I was willing enough and able to do the research that I did, to look into systems that I did with Tapco, even though they were also expensive. But at least it gave me the education to find better systems than we have in Ghana, especially for those of us who do not want to do burglar bars. And then for me, the biggest reward is being able to replicate it for other people, right? My research paid off for me, and it's hopefully going to pay off for you as well, right? As you can see here, even the configuration, everything says clear, right? Clear basically tells me that there's no tint, right? Unless I'm wrong, clear tells me there's no tint for the windows, so it's going to be just see-through. The color white, which we didn't really discuss, basically tells me the frame is going to be a white color profile. I didn't really want white anyway, right? So that goes to tell you that some of these quotations that were given, basically, like the person who put it together imposed some colors on us that I didn't, ask for, which means that it probably was their base color. And if I wanted to do something more than that, it would cost me more, especially the clear configuration as well. But once again, this is, sometimes I see things like this, and it kind of, reminds me of how far we've come, on this building journey. But I'm grateful for the experience to have been able to chance, into, the relationship that I have in China, and be able to build on it, for the last couple of years, and to be able to, essentially replicate this for other people. We've done windows for a lot of people. I can't wait to get to Ghana soon so I can go visit some of the people we've done windows for. But this video really was almost like I got a sticker shock all over again when I saw this with this invoice yesterday. So I decided to make this video just to bring it to your attention. Once again, if you know what prices in Ghana do, if you go for the same configuration at this same company today, the price you see here, 25,000, will probably be close to double, or let's say at least 10K more, right? I will not be shocked, because we know prices in Ghana go up and they rarely come down. Even if fuel prices come down, they rarely do. I'm looking at the city doing battle against the US dollar. I don't know if it's the US dollar that is getting weak, but I can say that the city is getting strong. And it's good to see. As much as it hurts my pocket, it's good to see. And I say it hurts my pocket because, let me give you an example. We're doing landscaping on the project, right? I'll throw a little video in here. We're trying to landscape part of the main house area so that we can have the place filled nicely, and then worry about doing the space beyond the garage which will be the outdoor pool area a little later. And they gave me an estimate for what they thought I was asking for the landscape. And the number of blocks that they asked me for ended up being short. I sent them money for it, and then once I explained to them what I wanted, they were like, "Oh no, the blocks wouldn't do it, so we need to buy more." I sent them money yesterday. If they had given the invoice yesterday for the right amount of cement blocks, I would have saved a little money. I go to look at the exchange rate today. The CD's gotten even more stronger, right? So I bring this in to bring it back to, as much as the dollar might be going down, unfortunately, the prices of items don't go with it. I would hope that it will. We don't have price regulation in Ghana. It's weak at best. Prices will go down, on the global level, but then sticker prices stay where they are, right? In Ghana, and I really don't know what science controls that, apart from maybe it's just sheer greed by individuals. But let's be hopeful. I'm hoping that whatever is happening will impact more things on the market, so that as the city gets stronger, hopefully prices of items also get a little lower. I'd hope so, but we live to see. The good thing is we have documents like this to give us like a timestamp as we continue the building process. When I was starting my foundation process in early 2020, just before COVID, a bag of cement was, I think, about for Gasem, the best cement in the country, arguably the best cement that that you can find in the country, was 35 cedis for a 50 kg bag of cement. That same bag from Gasem is upwards of 100 now, right? So in a little over 5 years, less than 5.5 years, that same bag of cement has appreciated 3 times, right? I'm hoping that with the city's strength now, hopefully it means that buying with a dollar is less expensive in Ghana, which means that it will hopefully translate to the average Joe, right? So we can, build faster. Well, when I say build faster, I'm not saying speed and do the wrong thing though. So keep that in mind. All right. I think, this is getting a little, outside the context of this particular video. But here, let me wrap this up. Imagine if I paid this much for my windows and end up with something that was not the right, configuration that I wanted, right? And then someone else put on YouTube that they have a solution that will save me money. I would be upset, but at least I'll be happy for the next person coming after me, right? That's one of the things that I try to do in this building process. The learnings that I get when I share them is not to expose my flaws necessarily. Yes, it exposes my flaws, but not to shame myself, but more so that the next person come after me does not walk blind into the same mistakes that I walk blindly into, right? The world is your oyster. If you are willing to look at, systems outside of Ghana, and you have the patience to actually do it, and you have a team that you can trust to pull it all off for you without you stepping foot in a place like China, because we have, presence on the ground, who will be an advocate for you, please consider it, right? I know what Build Connect Solutions is doing is not for everyone, but at least consider it. The least you can do is get your measurements done right. Come and talk to us so we can give you an estimate. At least you can know whether it's something within your budget or if it's way outside of the budget. But at least right? There's nothing wrong with window shopping. We encourage people to come, when it comes to windows, doors, and tiles, to come and talk to us, because we know what we can deliver, right? And we're doing the best we can to make sure that the homework that we've done makes it easy for you to go through the process. And I have a lot of witnesses to that. I always mention Kojo Black's name because he's the one who's very vocal about our stuff on YouTube. There are people who are not, on YouTube and have gotten our stuff and are happy with it, and have come back multiple times. So consider us, right? Send us an email at buildconnectsolutions@gmail.com. Let us know how we can help you. Once again, windows, doors, tiles. So by doors, I mean, anything from internal doors, external security doors, garage doors, all of those we'll be able to do for you. What we don't do is we don't do the regular steel doors that you see in Ghana. Everything we do is stainless steel or aluminum when it comes to metal doors. And then when it comes to windows, anything from sliding, fixed, casement, awning type, come talk to us, right? We have the factories that can do this stuff for you. If you want to combine regular bars, it's up to you. We can help you with that. But the systems that we do have, you don't need the regular bar, right? You don't. But I get it. Some people want it. And if you want it, come let's talk, right? If we can find a factory that will do both for you together, or both systems that you can put together yourself in Ghana, we'll do that, right? But at least you know that, everything was done by design before the first, metal was cut, right? So keep that in mind. Come talk to us, and let's see how we can help you, right? Thanks again for watching this video. Please, hit the subscribe button. If there's anything that we can help you with, send us an email, buildconnectsolutions@gmail.com. It'll be on the screen and also in the description box below. Thanks again. Bye-bye.